holistic name.
Yes.
What does it mean?
Well, it refers to the mechanism of breaking the current. There is a shuttle which moves ballistically. At the extreme, it could even be fired as fast as a bullet in a gun. Although for most of the applications I'm looking at, ordinary mechanisms of actuation like a spring or electromagnetic actuation are adequate.
So, Roger, let's just back up a little bit. So you started Electric Pipeline Corp. first, right?
Yes,
Why don't you give us a little history on what it's all about?
Oh, sure. Electric Pipeline Corporation really, for me, goes back to hearing Buckminster Fuller speak when I was a teenager.
Right.
And in his later years of his life, he realized that how important a supergrid would be. He's really one of the fathers of the supergrid concept. And he said that he himself was surprised at the outcome of his world game simulation. An early simulation looking at the world economy, trying to figure out what are the most important technologies for making a better standard of living for poor people was his focus, really. And he said it surprised him that long-distance power transmission was as important as it was. It was the most important thing, he thought. So that stuck in my mind. In 1991, I was a full party and a public intervener in the Wisconsin utility hearings called Advanced Plan 6. And in that, I specifically called for underground HVDC transmission in Wisconsin. And then when Obama was elected, it looked like we had somebody that was going to get serious about our problems with the grid. And so I pulled these ideas out and made a business out of them.
Excellent. Now, when you talk about power, I'm just looking at what happened with the storm we had a couple of weeks, last week there.
Yeah.
A lot of people were out, huh?
Yeah, moving power lines underground is a really important thing. There's a lot of people who are incensed about overhead power lines. I have avoided really hooking up with those folks so far because it's a deadly problem if you want to be friends with the utilities to hook up with those people. But I agree, power lines are ugly and they deface the landscape, and they have the other problems, as you mentioned. Storms tend to knock them out. The big advantage of overhead power lines is that they can be rapidly repaired, and that is the crux issue that I have been working on. So my L-pipes can also be rapidly repaired.
Even though they're underground?
Even though they're underground.
How does that work?
Well, the L-pipe is installed in a pipeline. It's on wheels and it's powered. So the L-pipe has features of an electric train and a power line. When I say it's a train, it's a very slow train, a couple miles an hour. But unlike any other design, the L-pipe has components which are segment modules and splice modules. The segment modules look pretty much like pipeline pieces. They get hooked together through these flexible splice modules. They're on wheels, so that means you can make all of the splices in a clean room environment at one end of the line, and it rolls into this pipeline from a single point of assembly. And if you need to make a repair, you can back it up until the faulted section is in a maintenance vault. That's really a radical idea.
Now, Roger,